Namaskar. Hello friends. Today we will take up a new topic, namely love. True love should be like a water-bearing cloud. Love is not an action that is to be deliberately performed. It is a natural emotion arising from within. It should be like a natural flow, or shall we say, an overflow that can no longer be contained inside. It does not have to be directed towards any particular object. It should not be discriminatory. It should be naturally flowing love, which will not distinguish between my child and someone else's child. That is why we find a truly self-realized person being naturally loving, even towards animals. That is why we find a truly self-realized person being naturally loving. Sorry, I'm repeating. That is why God's love is said to be true love. He does not discriminate at all, while letting anyone and everyone make use of the sunlight created by Him, or the water created by Him does not distinguish between a sugarcane plant and a poisonous plant, feeding them equally. Love is different from liking. Liking is a preference of our senses or ego based on an evaluation of the past conditioning and experiences. So, I love ice creams is an incorrect usage of the word love. On the other hand, love is not based on any kind of evaluation. It simply flows. There is no expectation of a reciprocal response to true love. True love is an overwhelming emotion. It does not leave any room for any other emotion. In the above sense, a person with true love is like a water-bearing cloud. Cloud is nothing but water itself. Similarly, a truly loving person should be love personified. When the cloud is full, at an appropriate time, the water in it simply pours out without any other considerations. The water is not directed towards any particular object like a river only or a field only. Also, the cloud does not expect anything in return for the water it pours out. In fact, the cloud itself is no more after it pours out. True love should similarly dissolve the self completely. Love, is it a transitive or intransitive verb? I start with a little refresher on English grammar. Okay, hold on. I'm not going to get into an English lesson. It is just a couple of sentences on transitive and intransitive verbs. A transitive verb is one that has a direct object. For example, I ate a mango. An intransitive verb cannot have a direct object. For example, the rain fell heavily. Now I ask you, is love a transitive verb or an intransitive verb? Purely from a grammatical point, it is a transitive verb because we say, for example, I love mangoes. However, I say that in a higher spiritual sense, it is an intransitive verb. True love should not require an object. It should be an inherent attribute, a natural radiance flowing out of a subject. That is I. I should be capable of simply loving anything and everything, irrespective of what it is. In fact, love should be a constant attribute of mine, even without any object for my love. Love should be a part of me, always present and always seen, by everyone coming near me. Liking versus love versus ultimate love. I like the objects that please my physical senses or ego. In other words, the liking relationship is based on my getting something from the object that I like. It therefore goes without saying that if and when I feel that I am no longer getting the pleasure that I was getting earlier from an object, I will stop liking it. Then the relationship between that object and myself will also end. So, I like to have pakoras today because they please my taste organs. I might continue liking them for some time and keep having them every evening. However, the degree of pleasure that I will get from the pakoras will gradually go on reducing every day. So, after some days or months, I may find myself not getting any pleasure from the pakoras. Then my relationship based on the liking for them felt by my taste organ will end. I will stop eating pakoras. On this background, what is love? Love towards an object is not based on any pleasure that the object can or cannot give to my senses or ego. In fact, there is no transaction at all between the object of love and myself. It is just that my soul feels pleased with the way that object simply is. This pleasure is unending and does not reduce over time so long as, of course, that object itself does not change in any fundamental way. True love may even be one-sided because it is not transactional. There is no expectation on my part from the object of my love. It is just that I feel pleased even when I simply think about that object. In case the object is a live person, I don't even need to be talking to that person. I am happy just being in the company of that person or simply thinking about that person. A loving mother's love for her child falls in this category. And the ultimate love can only be towards the Creator God. Such a God may not be a personal God. He may simply be perceived as a phenomenon underlying the entire creation in the form of the complex web of all the laws of nature in accordance with which the whole creation functions. Such a God is truly perceived as all-pervading, and the feeling of love towards Him then is nothing but love towards each and every small and big object and phenomenon that is a part of this magnificent creation. When such ultimate love is felt towards God, the limited self vanishes. Such love is not a relationship between I and another object, but an identity that is all-encompassing. Worldly love compared to love towards God. When we talk of pure love in the context of human beings, the essential aspects of it are as follows. 1. Thinking about the welfare of the loved one all the time or most of the time. 2. Sacrificing self-interest for the benefit of the loved one. 3. Not expecting anything in return from the loved one. 4. Feeling happy when the loved one is happy and feeling unhappy when the loved one is unhappy. 5. Being gentle towards the loved one even when the latter commits a mistake. 6. Doing all that is possible in the interest of the loved one. 7. It is not an action, nor can it be deliberately performed. It arises naturally as a response to the mere existence of the loved one. However, when we talk about love for God, the same aspects do not quite apply. The reason is that God does not need any action from us towards His interest. He possesses Shadguna Aishwarya, that is, He possesses all the 6 riches and capabilities. Aishwarya means wealth, which are those 6 riches are as follows: Jnana, which is wisdom; Tejas, that is effulgence; Shakti, that is physical power; Prabha, that is aura; and Ananda, that is bliss. And there is nothing that he does not have or cannot get where we can help him. To my mind, the aspects of pure love towards God are as follows. First, thinking all the time about Him. Second, not expecting anything worldly from Him in the nature of quid pro quo. That is, not saying, I am taking your name and praying to you, so you give me this, that, or the other. Third, sacrificing, or in fact forgetting, all the worldly interests relating to this body and ego. Fourth, having a feeling of awe and respect towards Him for the magnificence of this entire creation. Fifth, not questioning Him for anything in this creation, since everything is Him. Sixth, truly believing that everything is happening under His guidance as per His design. Seventh, love towards God arises as a natural outcome of losing love towards the limited self, that is, body and ego. True love is a relationship, a holy relationship between 2 individuals. It is not defined by what one does for the loved one. It is not defined by how often one says, I love you to the loved one. True love is expanding our limited self and becoming one with the loved one. Our relationship with the Creator should be one of true love. It's not defined by how elaborate a puja, that is ritualistic worship, we perform. It is not our prayers to Him where there still is a separateness. It is becoming one with Him. That is called avyabhichari bhakti, that is pure devotion, where bhakta, that is devotee, and Bhagavan, that is God, are one and the same. The more common type of bhakti that most of us engage in is, on the contrary, vyabhichari bhakti, that is selfish devotion. When there is a duality between bhakta and Bhagavan, that is vyabhichari bhakti. We'll stop here. I'll see you the next time. Until then, bye. Take care.